Greetings world. We are anonymous. Currently, in America and elsewhere, you are being told to vote by deceptive voice. The voice implies that everyone votes, that it is a patriotic privilege or some such baloney. However, the truth could not be further away. This voting season, approximately 50% of the population will not vote. In a democracy, a non-vote counts just as much as a vote. A voter who gives up voting in favor of doing something else is making an economic decision. Literally, to this voter, the candidates are simply not worth voting for, not now, and likely, not ever. Truthfully, half of this population never voted and will never vote. Whether or not you talk to us, or realize we exist, the non-voting population is the majority. We are the unmovable giant, the spine of this country. Our indifference toward the outcome of the voting population is deafening. Need I mention are further divided into two almost perfectly split factions of 25% of the population. Clearly, these two insignificant puppets have no real sway over the giant unwavering mass of us. Regardless of the actions of trivial politicians, our lives will continue as we, the people, orchestrate, that is, until lately. Since the turn of the 21st century, the minority has continued to overstep their bounds and insist on stepping on our toes. At this time, small business remains as the majority maker of GDP, yet greedy businessmen and corrupt politicians have continued to consolidate power until small business has nearly lost the majority. Allying with these large companies is in the interest of power-hungry politicians. Through granting special taxation and incentives, politicians consolidate power and create favorable outcomes for their constituents. But we know too well that same old song and dance. We survived George Bush Sr., who clandestinely brought all the drugs in the US to counter the 80s Reagan-era drug war. We were subjected to the White House screw-tape recordings of Bill Clinton, and every child learned too young what a blowjob was. Hillary, you didn't even have the self-respect to leave Bill. At least then, you could have married Ellen DeGeneres. There is a winning ticket. These people then have the audacity to inundate every part of our life, yet we will continue to ignore them. Every few years, these posers pretend to have legitimate cause in a feeble attempt to tap into our 50% majority. They show signs of patriotism and stabs at virtue in their propaganda, coaxing us with pleas of innocence to gain our sympathy. We know they own the quote, news channels you watch, as well as all readily provided mediums of information. It's quite simply disgusting. Mainstream media outlets are littered with pornographic advertisements online. All credibility has been lost and the faith of the people has all but dissipated. This is not a new thing. Indeed, the faith of the people had dissipated long ago. We now see a picture of Donald Trump on the horizon. A very typical move in political theory. Pick a strong reactionary personality to the previous leader's repressed, introverted personality, with a strong tinge of nationalism and charismatic display, and what do you get? A completely out-of-control country that is likely to go to war at the drop of a hat. Did Obama do anything he said he was going to do? Kigma is still open. He continued everything Bush had set in motion, and he did many things he said he wasn't going to do. The Affordable Health Care catastrophe, for example. Now, this old grump says he is going to deport Muslims. He is saying all the things that you want to hear. It's more likely the government let them in, and Trump isn't going to do anything but likely drag you to the Middle East to blow away taxpayer dollars playing a war. And cowards like Hillary Clinton who don't truly have your best interest at heart are inconsequential. Our candidates weren't even allowed onto the debate stage, and no mainstream outlets gave them any coverage. The Bush-Gore election in 2000 was proven to be rigged, and regardless, Gore had more voters, yet Bush won by a large majority of the Electoral College. For most of you young folks, you are being brainwashed to walk down a path and fight a fight for the rest of your life, which is absolutely mute. Do your research before you make up your mind, then you will become one of us. You will see as we see the truth. This is why we have no care for the presidential race. We know they come and they go, but we will endure. We have no leader and we have no president. We are a legion. We are anonymous. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
voting.